Hi, my name is Haley if you do not know, but you probably know because no one's gonna watch this other than my friends and family. But I wanted to make this video just kind of to help my friends and family keep up, and I'm gonna hopefully do more of these because it was actually pretty fun. I mean, editing is stressful and I'll probably get much better at it, so I'm sorry if the quality of anything is not good. But I just wanted to say I am going to be interjecting quite a bit in this video. I didn't take too many clips, but I did have a lot to say later. So you will see me in this setup almost exactly, talking about friends and situations to provide context and a little bit of detail. But I hope you enjoy, and bye! Okay, I have 4 minutes before I have to leave the house, but I wanted to say hi. I'm gonna try to film my day, kind of. Probably. I recorded a little bit more to the end of this clip, but I ended up cutting it because I didn't like the way that I am in the mornings. But part of that clip was me showing off these earrings that my parents got me for Valentine's Day, and I still kind of wanted to do that. So like, they're just these little gold hoops because I was telling them that I really wanted a pair of hoops that I could wear, and I got my ears pierced in December. It was like a really big deal for me because ignore the jackets. I'm 17 and I never got my ears pierced, and it was like a big deal to me, so like the earrings are a big deal to them, and it was just really nice, and I'm really grateful, and I kind of wanted to show off that my parents are just like really nice and really caring, and they consider me in a lot of things that they probably shouldn't, so I just wanted to throw that in. Thank you so much. I'm very proud of these, and I was showing them off all day on Friday because I got them Thursday.
When you hold it. Hi. That's when you hold the camera, Haley. Just restart it.
I'll figure it out. It's fine. This
Just
is
restart it.
I don't like holding things though, because then your hand cramps.
Wait after wait. Sorry, I'm bored.
What's the point?
I don't know. Okay. What's the point of life?
You're correct, but
Very true, James.
I'm gonna drink a room temperature soda now.
Ew.
Alrighty, I've made the decision to talk a little bit about each friend as they come into the video, and I have 2 to talk about right now, but essentially who you just saw was Morgan and Jade. Jade isn't in the video, but she will be later, so don't worry. But I'm going to talk about them together because we're in the same class. We're all in American Sign Language 1 together, and I think I would not be able to focus as much as I am in that class without my friends like keeping me focused and them keeping me active and keeping me, you know, practicing the language in class. And they're both like really cool people. Like, Jade is an amazing artist, and Morgan is just like one of the most chill people I've ever met, and she says like the funniest things. It makes me so happy to be around her. I love them both so much, and like they make me a better signer, and I love you guys. Alrighty, so that was just a picture that I took during creative writing on accident that I thought was pretty funny because my little Nutcracker coffee mug was like, it looked funny. But I didn't take any videos in creative writing because me and my friends were writing some 3-voice, I guess, poetry, and we kind of wanted to focus a little bit and also talk to each other. We normally talk about some pretty heavy stuff that I, like, honestly don't discuss with a lot of people, but I trust these guys a lot. It's Cipriana and Makai, if you guys are watching, like, but these guys are really important to me because I was coming into creative writing this semester expecting not to find anybody that I felt comfortable with them reading what I write, and then being uncomfortable the whole semester while people were reading things and giving me feedback. But I have these guys, and they're like so cool, such chill people, and so creative and smart, and just honestly really nice to be around. It's really inspiring to be around other people who like to write as much as I do, and I think they're cool. So even though they aren't in the video, I just kind of wanted to talk about them a little bit because they're really great people. You might see them. Right?
Hi. I just hit you. It's okay.
It's just my glasses. Jay, do you want to say hey?
I want to say hi ho.
Yo.
Howdy.
Might cut that out. Don't like it. We aren't friends, Christopher! Alright, so that was just a clip of some of my lunch table friends. I realized I didn't necessarily say everyone's name, and I was already talking about friends, so I thought I'd record a little clip. So, first of all, we have Ryan. He's the blonde one. He's a senior this year, and I only met him earlier this year, but he's a really good friend. He's really understanding of me. Like, if I ask him to go somewhere with me, because sometimes I just get really nervous about being by myself places, he'll go with me. Like, he goes to the library with me a lot. He'll walk to my locker with me to go get my lunch. Like, he makes me more comfortable, and he's really understanding of when I'm uncomfortable, and, like, he lets me vent, and he has the funniest stories, and he's just a really good friend, and I'll talk a little bit more about him later, because I'm so lucky to be friends with him. And then there's Elena. She's sitting, I guess if you're watching, then to the left, but she was to my right. She was the second person I showed in that clip, and she and I have been friends since the beginning of sophomore year. I am now in my second semester of my junior year, so it's been a little while. We started color guard together, but our friendship is so much more than that. She's just a really cool person, and she's so funny. And, like, sometimes she'll, we have a lot of cultural differences because Elena's Mexican and I am very, very white. So, like, we have a lot of inside jokes of, like, one time we were in Dillard's and I said something spelled like my grandma, and she goes, "My grandma smells like tacos," so we both just sat there cry laughing for a few minutes, and it was a beautiful experience. And Elena is such a good friend, and I love her so much. And then there's Jade, who I talked a little bit about earlier, but she's cool, and she's supportive, and she's so, like, she's nice in her own way, and I think that's really cool. I like having friends who express their emotions and their affection in different ways. It really allows you to get to know people when you really, like, accept things. So, like, all of my friends are a little bit different in the way that they show me they care, but they're all just so cool. And then there's Chris. I'm kind of rude to him, but he's a really good friend, and, like, when I first moved, I'm trying to talk really fast because I don't want this to last forever, but when I first moved to Texas, he was, like, one of the band kids that, like, was so unapologetically himself and so nice to me that it made me feel a whole lot more comfortable after moving away from everyone I'd ever known. So he's just a really nice person to be around, and he gets a little bit loud, but sometimes that's nice because I'm not a big fan of silence. So yeah.
Are they still like tight? Like,
Yeah, they're just thicker than the ones that I normally wear because I haven't cut out the inside caps.
are you going to? Or no, because you're going to be saver.
Okay, so I cut down the time a lot because it's not that interesting and I wasn't doing it very well, but I practiced for about 20 minutes during lunch on Friday because we got new rifle choreography and I wasn't good at it. Still not, but I'm getting better because I'm putting in the work. But what I wanted to include was the clip before this and the clip after this. So the clip before this, just, number one, I wanted to go out and practice in the foyer like I sometimes do when I'm not having the best of times with choreography. But I didn't want to go alone because they were actually, like, using professional cameras to record the foyer, which I would figure out why later, but, like, I just didn't know if I would get in trouble or not, and I didn't want to really go out there because I'm nervous all the time. So Ryan actually, like, I asked him to go out there with me, and he was like, "I gotta study," and then he was like, "Oh, I can study out there, that's fine." So he actually went out there and sat with me because I was nervous, because he's a really, really good, compassionate, and understanding friend. And then the clip before this just kind of shows, like, I mentioned to him once that we were probably spinning saber next year in our show, and, like, that I didn't want to cut the pads out of my gloves because I needed them to be thicker than my usual ones. I mentioned that to him once, like, a week before this, and he, like, remembered, and he brought it up, and, like, he corrected himself, and, like, that was so nice. And I was watching this back, and I, like, almost cried because Ryan is a really good friend, and I haven't had a lot of those recently, so, like, if you're watching this, baby, I love you. You're the best. And then the clip after this is actually because they were recording the foyer for the video that they play when parents and friends are walking in at graduation this year. And they saw me spinning out there, and the dude actually asked me if I would spin it for him, like, while he recorded for the video, and I was like, sure. Even though I'm not a senior, so they probably might not put that in. But it was, like, it was cool. It was cool, and like Ryan was really nice, and he was like watching me. He was making sure I was okay, because sometimes I get really nervous in situations, even though I shouldn't. It's a weird thing. But like, it was really cool, and I just wanted to throw that in. He let me do drop spins, and then he asked me if I could do any like tosses that were a little bit more, you know, exciting. And the answer is I could, but not catch them in front of a camera. That was my issue like all day. I could not catch anything in front of a camera. I don't know why. But it freaked me out a little bit. But he was really nice about it. He was like, you know what, we all have our off days. We all get a little nervous in front of the camera. You did drop spins pretty well. He said you did the spinny thing because he didn't know what he was talking about. He was like, you did the drop spins pretty well. It was a really nice experience. Like, he was a super nice dude, and I think it's cool that the school does that, because I know, like, my school back home probably wouldn't have, and I think it's cool. Okay, so I took a video at the end of school, but it was in the wind and the audio was even more atrocious than the rest of this. Sorry. So I decided to like not include that, but essentially what happened was after lunch I went to physics. We were doing stuff, so I couldn't really record. Then I went to English. I had a presentation on the Venezuelan migrant crisis and the economic crisis and how they play off of each other and affect neighboring countries like Peru and Ecuador and Colombia. It's actually pretty interesting. And then I went to interior design, and we took notes on construction of housing, I think. I barely paid it. No. We took notes on another thing. Oh, traffic flow with furniture. That's what we took notes on. The day before was construction of housing. But that was pretty cool. Interior design starts off really boring, and then it gets a little bit better once you understand the design principles and how a house is built and how a mortgage works, because my school district likes to make everything a lesson in being like an adult with financial responsibilities instead of just talking about interior design itself. And then I went to AP US History. My teacher likes to like give us a video every so often, a documentary to watch, to like really consolidate like our visual understanding of what was happening at the time. Right now we're in Revolutionary America, and we watched a documentary because normally Fridays, if we're watching documentaries, it's on a Friday to give us a little bit of a break before a break. And then I stayed after school and I talked to my teacher for about 15 minutes about the decision of the I'm gonna get it wrong because I always get them mixed up. There's Continental Congress and then there's Constitutional Convention. Essentially, the decision that they made to put off the issue of slavery within the Constitution until 1804, and then subsequently 1824, and then they just kept putting it off. We were talking about the kind of issues that caused, and like how it probably wasn't a logical decision to say, hey, this is a big problem now and it's only gonna get worse, but how about we put it off for another 20 years? And then we talked about color guard, and I just love my AP US history teacher so much. She is a gift. I hate reading textbooks, so I'm not doing too well in the class, but I'm getting better at it, and she's definitely helping with that, and she's just one of the nicest teachers I've ever had. And then I went to the band hall, and I practiced outside of the band hall because I'm not in band anymore. The guard room is right beside that. So I practiced out in the hallway for like 0.2 seconds, which is what you're about to see, and then I went home. And then I chilled and just like relaxed for a little while. And then that was it.
I just don't like him as a person.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed like a kind of sort of look at my life. Definitely gonna try to record more next week and see how much footage I can get. I might do like 2-day vlog versus like a 3-day one, but like I'm gonna try to get a little bit more. I'm definitely gonna do a what I do when I'm not in school situation. I'm not going anywhere because I don't have my license and everyone in my family works, but I feel like it should be fun, so we'll see. And I might see if I have any friends who want to drive and hang out with me. But also tomorrow I'm supposed to be going to the mall, might film a little bit of that, see what I get, because I have this skirt that I've been wanting for like so long, and I made a promise to myself that I would get it for myself for Valentine's Day, and I'm going to. So, to come. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you hated every aspect of it or things that I could do better in the most polite way possible. Pretty please. And have a chill life. Okie dokie. So that is it for now. That was my entire day on Friday. I know I didn't take a lot of clips, but I promise to get a little bit better about doing that. I really enjoyed doing this and I'll probably do more of it, but I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.